There are people who walk into a room and within 30 minutes, they've got 3 new friends. Meanwhile, you're still nursing the same drink, making the same small talk, wondering why this feels so hard. I used to think these people had some secret superpower. Turns out, they don't. What they have is a completely different operating system for how they approach people. And the gap between what they do and what most of us do is smaller than you'd think, but the results are wildly different. Most friendship advice tells you to be yourself, be confident, find common interests. Cool. Except none of that explains why you can share a bunch of interests with someone and still feel nothing. Or why sometimes you click with someone who's completely different from you. Researchers have actually studied this. They've looked at what separates people who build friendships quickly from people who struggle. And it's not about being funnier or more interesting or having better stories to tell. It's about micro behaviors, tiny shifts in how you show up that completely change how people experience you. Most of us are doing the socially acceptable thing, being polite, staying appropriate, not making it weird. The problem? That's exactly what keeps connection at arm's length. The people who form friendships fast break these unspoken rules in very specific ways. Let me show you what I mean. First thing, they ask weird questions. Not weird like intrusive, weird like unexpected. While everyone else is asking, "What do you do?" they're asking, "What's something you believed as a kid that turned out to be completely wrong?" There's this concept in psychology called fast friends protocol. Basically a set of questions designed to make strangers feel close quickly. The questions work because they skip past biographical data and go straight to how someone thinks, how they see the world, what they value. The people who connect quickly understand that intimacy doesn't build through resume talk. It builds through exposing how your brain works. And you can do that in the first 10 minutes if you're willing to ask something that actually matters. The question doesn't have to be deep. It just has to be different enough that the person pauses and thinks before answering. Second, they validate feelings, not just facts. Someone tells you they're stressed about a work project. Most people respond with solutions. Have you tried breaking it into smaller tasks? Maybe talk to your manager? All logical, all helpful technically. But the people who build instant rapport do something different. They name the feeling first. That sounds overwhelming. I'd be frustrated too. 3 seconds of acknowledgement before jumping to fixes. This is called emotional validation, and it's shockingly rare. We're trained to problem solve, to be useful, but what people actually want in that moment isn't a solution. It's proof that you get it, that their reaction makes sense. When someone validates how you feel before trying to fix it, you relax around them. Because they've signaled, "I'm not here to judge whether your feelings are reasonable. I'm just here with you in them." That's the foundation of safety, and safety is where friendship grows. Third, they're weirdly specific with compliments. Generic compliments are white noise. "You're smart." That's cool. They land flat because they could apply to anyone. But notice how it feels when someone says, "The way you explained that made it click for me in a way it never has before," versus just "good explanation." One is forgettable. The other makes you feel truly seen. The people who form quick bonds are obsessive noticers. They catch the small thing you did and name it specifically. Not great presentation, but I loved how you paused after the hard question instead of rushing to fill the silence. That level of specificity does 2 things. It proves they were actually paying attention, and it tells you something about yourself you might not have noticed. Specific praise isn't flattery, it's evidence. Evidence that this person sees you clearly, and being seen clearly is one of the most addictive feelings in human connection. Fourth, they reveal their process, not just their results. Someone asks how your weekend was. Most people summarize: good, went hiking, factual, efficient, boring. The people who connect easily bring you into the experience. I almost bailed because I was tired, but I forced myself to go, and 20 minutes in I remembered why I love it. Something about being outside just resets my brain. See the difference? One is a fact. The other is a window into how you think and feel. It gives the other person something to relate to. The internal debate, the realization, the why behind the what. We edit out the messy internal stuff because we think it's not interesting, but that's exactly what makes you interesting. The doubt, the change of heart, the moment something clicked. That's where personality lives. Share the process, not just the outcome, and suddenly conversations have texture. Fifth, they treat conversation like collaboration, not competition. Most people approach talking like a tennis match. You say something, I say something back, we trade turns. The goal is to keep the ball in play. Maybe throw in a good shot when you get the chance. But the people who build connection fast approach it more like jazz. They're riffing off what you said, building on your idea instead of redirecting to theirs. "Oh, that's interesting because," instead of, "That reminds me of when I..." It's a subtle shift, but you feel it immediately. One feels like they're with you. The other feels like they're waiting for you to finish so they can talk. This isn't about never sharing your own stories. It's about making sure your story connects to theirs instead of replacing it. It's about treating their thought as the starting point, not the interruption. When you do that, the conversation stops being a transaction and starts being something you're building together. And that shared creation, that's bonding. Here's what all of this comes down to. The people who spark instant friendships have figured out that connection isn't about being likable. It's about making the other person feel like the most interesting person you've talked to all week. Not through fake enthusiasm, through genuine attention, through questions that matter, validation that lands, compliments that stick, stories that let them in, and conversations that feel collaborative instead of competitive. None of this is manipulation. It's just care. Directed, specific, noticeable care. And it works because most people aren't getting that anywhere else. Pick one of these for your next conversation. Not all 5, just one. Ask the weird question. Validate the feeling. Get specific with the compliment. Watch what happens. Watch how the energy shifts. How quickly someone goes from polite to present. Friendship isn't magic. It's just paying attention in ways most people forgot how to do.